Hello everyone. Welcome to our 12 days 12 use case webinar series. In today's webinar, we will be creating mobile application for one of the popular blogging website, Medium. We will be using Medium to demonstrate that you can use Twinr to convert any blogging website into mobile apps within just few minutes. So if you have a blogging website built upon WordPress, Wix, Squarespace or any other website platforms, then you can use Twinr to convert it into mobile apps. So now let's start creating mobile application for the Medium website. Okay, so to create an application, I'll click on the create app button. And then here we have three different templates: e-commerce, news and restaurant. So Medium is a blogging website which doesn't really belong to any of these templates. So we will start creating an application using a blank template. Okay, so first of all, we need to provide the application name, which is Medium. Website URL. So let me go here and bring up the website URL. Industry will be blogs and magazines. Website platform is Go. And then here we have two different new options introduced since Twinr 2.0. So from Twinr 2.0, we are introducing Twinr Automation Engine. Twinr Automation Engine will do a lot of manual work automatically for you, such as removing header and footer. So if we go to website here, and if I make it responsive, then we have this header here, right? And also at the end, we might have a footer as well in some of the websites, right? So until now, this process was removing a header and footer. That process was manual. But now, if you will keep these options enabled, right, then Twinr Automation Engine will automatically find out the header and footer elements from your website, and it will remove header and footer from the mobile application. So you don't need to do that manually anymore. Other than that, Twinr Automation Engine will also find out some of the important URLs for your application, such as if we take an example of an e-commerce application or e-commerce website, then it will automatically find out cart, shop, account, screen, and those kind of URLs automatically for you. So Twinr Automation Engine is still in beta, so it might not find the URLs for you, but it will always try to find out the possible URLs for your best possible URLs for your application, and we are still improving it day by day. Okay, so let's go ahead and build our application here. Okay, so our application is created here. Now we have three different options available. The first one is application dashboard. So we will be looking into it in a bit. Okay, before that, I want to discuss about the Twinr preview application. So let's click on that. So we have a Twinr preview application available on Android. You can install this application in your Android mobile. So Twinr preview application means when you are working on your application and you are doing some customizations in that and setting up your applications and all those things, right? You will be able to preview all those changes in real time in Twinr preview application. So this application is really important for while you are working on your application, because it will give you an exact idea that how your application will look like in a real device, in a physical device. So I would highly recommend installing this preview application in your Android mobile. By chance, if you don't have an Android mobile, right, then we do have integrated devices as well that you can use directly inside the portal here. So I'll explain about it in a moment as well. And the third option is a delete button, delete application button, which is a self-explanatory. So I'm not going into more detail here. Okay, so now let's go inside the application dashboard. And on the home screen, we can see we have a setup guide here. So the first step here is a preview application. And we already discussed about the preview application here. Okay, now the next step is branding, app theme, and customize screen. So I'll be going through this step-by-step process now to set up a branding and then app theme and then customize the screen and applications and all the other customizations. The next thing here is about live chat. So while you are working on your application and you have any questions or concerns or any queries or you want to discuss with our team, then you can always click on this live chat button here and you can message our team and someone will help you over the chat. The next option is step-by-step guide to create your application. So we have a video tutorial on YouTube, which will help you to set up your application with step-by-step tutorial. So we have a playlist there where you can go through those videos one by one, and it will help you to prepare and build your application from start to end, step by step. Okay, so now let's go to the branding section here and start setting up our branding information. So the first thing here is application name. Now application name is already there, and as you can see that when user will install an application in mobile device, the application name will be displayed like this. Okay. Other two options are iOS bundle ID and Android package name. So both these fields are required when we are ready to publish your application to Play Store and App Store account. So let's skip it for now. Application icon. So whatever application icon you will upload here, it will become your app icon, and then when user will install the application in the device, that's how it will look like. Okay, so let me upload the application icon here for the medium. Yeah, there you go. And then the launch screen. Okay, so the launch screen means when user opens an application, the first screen they will be seeing is the launch screen, and then after 1 second they will be able to see the other content of the application. So launch screen is really important, and it's kind of a necessary part of the mobile apps. So you can utilize this launch screen as for the marketing purpose or for your branding purpose, but usually people use it for the branding purpose, right? So let me upload a launch screen here as well, then update it. Okay, so we have icon and launch screen setup. Now next part is app permissions. So this is really critical section here, which we need to always set up in our application. For all the application, this is required. Okay, so let's first discuss about the application permission. What application permission means. So for example, in your website, you have a profile section where user can update their profile picture, right? So when they update their profile picture, in the website, they can select a photo from the laptop or desktop directories, local directories, right? But in mobile applications, that's not the situation, right? So in mobile applications, they can use camera or photo library to access their photos and to select the photo profile picture. Now, both these things requires a permission. So user cannot directly access camera, right, without allowing a permission. So in our application, in your application, right, you will need to enable this permission that whenever user will try to access the camera, first of all, we will ask them a permission. Okay. And that permission means we will provide them a purpose that why do we want to access the camera? Okay. Why should you provide a permission? Why should you provide our application a permission to access your camera? Right, that is really very important. Okay, so let's go inside the camera permission here, and we see there are two different messages here, message and the permission rationale message. Okay, so when we ask for the permission for the first time, okay, that's when this message will be displayed. Okay, so this message should be clear enough for the users to understand that why should they allow a camera permission. Okay, now another thing is that if you will not take this message seriously, right, if you will not use this message or provide this message properly, then Apple will reject your application saying that whatever message you have provided here is not really aligned with the feature that requires a camera permission. Okay, so in our example, I said that we are asking for a camera permission to update the profile picture, right? So that is basically aligned with whatever our requirement or our feature requirement is. But for example, if you are using camera for some other features in your application, like creating a post, creating reels or something in Instagram, right? So you need to you need to exactly specify the use cases here, right? And the permission rationale message means, so for example, if user will deny the permission at first point, right? So next time when they will try to access the camera, they will not be able to use it. because they have denied the permission earlier. So permission rational message means when they will try to access the camera again, and if the permission is denied, then the permission rational message will be displayed there. Okay, and this message basically here using this message, right, by reading this message, user should get an information that okay, my camera permission, I had disabled the camera permission earlier, so now if I want to use this feature, then I need to enable it. Now this permission will have two buttons. Okay, this permission message will be displayed as an alert or pop-up on the screen, and it will have two buttons there. One is cancel and another one is settings button. So when user will click on the settings button, it will directly bring them to the application settings, and from the application settings they will be able to enable the camera permission again. Okay, so now we know what the camera permission and overall what the application permission means. So let me enable the camera permission because for this application it will be required. Similarly, photo library as well. Let me enable this as well. Microphone is not really required for this application, so I'm gonna skip that. App tracking transparency is required because I might be asking for, like Medium website is asking for a cookie policies, right? So it falls under the GDPR compliance. Now, when in your website you are asking for a cookie policy, so your application is going to ask for the cookie policy as well, right? Now, in this situation, Apple has a requirement that you must ask for a app tracking transparency permission. If you will not enable this permission in that situation, Apple will reject your application. Now, another situation, like for example, if you want to track your users' activity, that how they are using your application and everything, right, for your analytics purpose, then also you can use this, you can enable this permission and ask the permission from the users. So let me enable this and save it as a draft, go back. Location permission is not required again, so I'm gonna skip that. Okay, now let's go to our app theme. Yeah, so before we do any of the customization here, okay, let's do one thing. Let's see that how our application looks like first of all. Okay, a preview application. Okay, and we can see the medium application here. So let me click on it. Okay, and now I can see my home screen here, my home page here. Okay, now for the application theme, the main purpose of application theme is to match the branding that you have in your website. Now in the mobile application, we will be using a lot of native components, right? Now those native components, for those native components, we need to set up the branding, that what should be the color, font size for that, right? And different states like selected state, unselected state, background colors and everything. So we need to set up all these things here, right? Now for the tab bar means the bottom bar here. So once we will create multiple screens, the tab bar will get enabled and we will be able to see that. So we will do it later on. Before that, let's look at the navigation bar here. So usually in the navigation bar title color, currently it's a black color, but usually we follow the branding guidelines, right? So in terms of medium as well, their brand color is of a black color, but it's little bit of a different black color. So which is the gray color is 7575 and the black color is 292929 here. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll change the title color to 292929 to match with their branding. Background color is white, which is fine because they have the white background and everything here. So I'm gonna keep the navigation bar background to white. So you see, this is our native navigation bar here, which is a title home, and let me reload this. Okay, now the next thing is that it looks like the font is a bit smaller here for the title. So let me make it big. So let's go to app theme again and change the title font size to 18 pixel and save it as a draft. And now let's reload this. Okay, so you see now this looks perfect. The title font is a bit bigger. Okay, so now let's move to our screen section. And the first thing we need to do here is to create multiple screens. Okay, because right now we have only one screen. So let's do that. Let's create multiple screens first of all. Okay, so let's go to their website and let's see that what could be the other important screen here. So in blogging website, the searching is really important, right? So searching the blog or exploring the blog or other categories and everything, that's really important screen. So let's do that. Let's create a search screen first, and let's give it a name, explore screen URL and the screen icon. So let me upload the screen icon here, which is this one. Update it, add. And we also have a tab selected icon separately. So let me select the selected icon as well. Explore selected, update, and save it as a draft. Okay, so now we have two different icons, a bit of a gray icon for a normal state and the black color icon for the selected state. And let me go to the home screen and update the icon of the home screen as well. And then the selected one icon. And save it as a draft. Okay, so now let's go here and reload this. So you see, now we see two different screens here, explore and home. So main purpose of creating a screen is that so you just need to think about one thing, that what could be the most important and frequently used screens for your users, right? Because right now the explore and home are two different tabs here. So that means if user want to search something, now they just need to click on this explore button and everything is already there. They don't need to like wait for the page to be loaded or anything like that, right? The screen is already there. Now by creating a separate screen, we are providing them a quick and easy access to the most important screen, right? So that's what you need to think about when you create a new screen here, right? And you should not create more than 5 screens actually, because we have a limited space here in the mobile devices, right? So 5 looks good, but more than 5 might be, like congested or it looks dense a little bit. So my recommendation is 5, but you can create more than that as well if you prefer. Okay, so let's create another screen again, the next one. So if I go here and click on this one, so they have a list where we can create a new list and create uh, uh, save our blogs and all those things, right? So this one is really important as well in the blogging website, because I might have some of the blogs saved for the later on if I want to read this, right? So this preparing this list and maintaining this list is really important. So let's bring that and name it list like this, and then upload an icon here, the normal one, update it and add the icon, and then let's select the selected one and save it as a draft. Okay, now Medium is also on Medium. I can also create my own blogs, right? So for that they have a stories menu. So let's get this menu as well, because that's what their main use case is. Like users should create their blogs and write blogs, everything, right? So which is again obviously an important feature for the user to use. So I'm selecting an icon here, add, and then and save it as a draft. Okay, so now we have 4 screens. And another important screen I have found out here is obviously the settings screen. So let's create a separate menu for settings as well, and then normal settings icon, and then let's select selected settings icon as well. Okay, so here we have created 5 different screens. Let's go to our app again and see that how does it look like. Okay, so we have all the 5 screens created here: home, explore, list, stories, and settings. Everything looks good. I'm currently logged into my account, so everything looks good. Everything is perfect here, right? Okay, all good then. So now let me log out from my application here and then reload this. So you see now all of the pages, basically the list page is displaying, is asking me to log in here, the storage as well, the settings as well, because all these 3 pages requires a login, right? So then it's a good idea if your application requires a login, if your application, some of the, I mean, many of your application pages right, requires users to log in, then maybe you can enable the login feature. So let's do that. Let's enable the login feature. So the login feature means once you enable the login feature, right, when user will not be logged in inside the application, they will be able to see only login screen. So basically this tab bar, this navigation bar, everything will be hidden for them. They will not be able to access it. Once they will be logged in inside the application, right, they will be able to see all the screens, all the UI that we have right now, everything as it is. Okay, so let's enable this feature. And then after the second question here is, does your app require login at the start? So yes, we want to ask login at the start. And do you want to keep your users logged in every time they open an app? Yes, so yes, I want to do that as well. Now we need to provide the login status check script. So login status check script means that when user, how we can find out that user is currently logged in or not. So we need to prepare one script for that. Okay. So I have already prepared one script here. Let me copy it. Okay. So this script means that we just need to find out certain elements that, okay, if you find out the login or the user element on the page, then the user is currently logged in. So for example, in my situation here, if I find out that if user is logged in, that means this element, this particular element will be always here, right? If user is not logged in, then this will not be here. So that's what I did here, that if user options menu is there, then user is currently logged in. Else if it's not there, then it's possible that they are currently on the login screen and their username and password or something is wrong, then it's an auth error. Or else if both of these states are not there, that means they are not logged in right now. Okay. And the last state is unknown. So if you think that, if you find out that if none of the states matches here, then the last else is unknown. Okay, so that's what the login status check script means. Now we need to find out the login page selector. Okay, so now we need to find out the login form selector first of all. So basically what's the login form is. Okay, so let me do that. Let's click on this little arrow icon and then select here. And if we go inside, then as we can see, that looks like they are not using a form here. Okay, so what we can do, instead of providing the form, we can directly provide this username, email template, email text field selector to the form as well. So area label email looks unique selector to me for the input field, for the email field. So let's copy this and just add this here. Okay, submit button selector. So let's find out the continue button selector here, which is our submit button. So looks like they are using this kind of weird class names here, right? So let's see if the BU is actually unique. I think it will be hard to find out BU like this. Okay, there are lots of BUs here, but I think it's on the behind this another screen, not on this one. Okay, so let's use .bu for now, and we'll see if it is working or not. For the email username field selector, we are going to use the similar one. And for the password field selector, so if I enter my username here, and I think they are going to ask it on the next screen. Okay, so this one, they are asking for the code. So let's see, area label code is there, password field selector. Okay, save it as a draft. Now after storing this information, let's go to the login page, and here we need to provide the login page URL. So let me bring up the login page URL as well. Okay, and the next one is any other page URL which requires login to open. So for example, our settings screen requires login, right? So if the login, if user will not be logged in, then it will basically redirect them to the login screen. Okay, so let's do that. Let me get the settings screen URL here. And add this here, save it as a draft. Okay, so now our login page is set up. Let's go here again and reload this. Okay, so you see that it found out that user is currently not logged in, so it hides everything basically, right? So it did hide everything, and then currently only the login screen is visible here. So now let me click on sign in with email here and enter my email address. Continue, and then okay, let me see. I've got the code here, which is 149617. Okay, and now I'm logging in. So you see, I log into my account, logged into my account. So basically everything else is back and I can see everything again, all these tabs and everything, right? So that's what the main purpose of the login screen is, right? So whenever you enable the login screen and you enable that, okay, user will require to log in at the start of the application, then Twinr will automatically find out the current login status. If user is logged in, then it will move forward and it will display all the screens that you have. If user is currently not logged in, right, then it will display the login screen first. Okay, all good. And next time, every time when if I refresh the screen here, then you see that I'll be keep. Let me go back to the app and come back again. Okay, and this time as well, I'll keep. It will keep me logged in inside the application. Okay, all good. Now our next part is to again go back to our screen customization options here. So on the home screen, explore, list, storage, and settings. So if we look at these 5 options, and if we look at now, let me log in here again so we can kind of see all these things. Okay, so now I'm logged in here again. So if we look at the side menu here, then we have covered most of the important options that we need, right? So instead of the side menu, most probably I have all the options in the bottom bar here. So I don't really need to use this hamburger menu, this side menu anymore. Okay, for the notification screen, we can create one linker button on the home page, so we will satisfy that requirement as well. For the search bar, we already have a separate screen for that, so we don't really need this logo. That's fine, we don't really need it. So basically we don't need this header anymore, right? So we can completely remove that. So let's find out this header selector, and let me select this header first of all, which is, I think so, this one. Yes. Okay, so yeah, so looks like that in this header, this style is unique. Okay, so let me copy this style and then go to the portal here and general settings. Under the remove elements, let's add this and save it as a draft. Okay, now let's reload this one. Okay, so I think this looks good. Now we don't have a header at the start anymore. If you go to explore, list, settings, sorry, stories and settings, we don't see it anymore. It's gone from everywhere. So that looks exactly what we want. Okay, perfect. So our header part is gone. Now the next thing we want to remove is obviously on each screen here. Okay, the title is duplicated. Settings is here as well, settings is here as well. So we don't really need that. Okay, so let's remove it as well. And to do that, what I will do, let me go to the settings screen from here and then find out what's the element of the settings screen. So which is a H1 tag, which is kind of makes sense that all the headers always, for all the headers, we always use H1 element, right? So let's go to our portal and add H1 here and save it as a draft. So go to our app, reload this again, and you see now we don't see that anymore. Under the stories as well, we don't see that. Here we don't see it as well. We don't see in the searching as well, right? So we did remove those duplicated headers as well. Okay, so looks like that other than that, everything looks good to me because search screen is clean now, like explore one is clean. List is also very much cleaned, right? We have a new list button, which we obviously need, highlights and everything, those tabs here, which we need as well. So everything looks perfect here. Stories, everything is pretty much cleaned, so we don't really need to do anything else here. Settings, again, the same thing. Everything is cleaned up, so we don't really need to remove any other extra things. And there is no any footer as well, so we don't really need to worry about it. Okay. So in terms of removing any extra elements, we did a good job here by removing these two elements, and everything looks good. Okay. Now in medium here, I saw that their title stylings is actually the left side. Okay. So now let's do that. In our application, we are currently using the center alignment, right? But instead of the center alignment, let's change it to the left alignment. Okay. So I go to portal here, and on the home screen, I go to navigation bar and change title position to left and save it as a draft. Same thing, go to explore, navigation bar, and change this to left here. List, navigation bar, change this to left. Stories, same thing, change this to left. And settings, change this to left. Okay, now let's go here again and then reload this. So you see now all the titles are on the left side. Okay, all good. Now the next thing is about, now we did remove this notification, sorry, we did remove the header from everywhere, but we still need to add this notification button somewhere, right? Because notification button is obviously important part of the application. So let's do that. Let's create one linker button on the home page. So go to the home screen, navigation bar, and on the right hand side, let's create one linker button. So let me enable, notification icon here, update this and the URL. Okay, and save it as a draft. So now let's reload this, and you see on the home screen now we have a linker button here. Okay, so if I click on this notification icon, it will bring me to the notification screen. Okay, so we did add the notification icon as well. Now we have a notification screen as well, so that looks perfect, right? Now let's go here and see that what else we are missing in terms of the screen. So I don't think so we are missing anything, but one thing which is really important, I found in blogging, is sharing. That you really want to share your blog with your friends, right? Or someone you want to share, you want to share the blog link on social media or to your colleagues and somewhere, right? You want to share that. So to do that, we have a special button which is called native link sharing button. Okay, so we have all the blog listing and everything on the home screen. So I'll add the native link sharing button on the home screen. And for the native link sharing button, we just need to provide the icon and that's it. So let's find out. Let me search for the share icon. Yeah, and 292929. Update this, add this button, and save it as a draft. Now let's go here and see on the home page. Now we have this icon available. So let me go inside any of the blog. Okay, so for example, this is our blog right now. Okay, and if I want to share that, so now I just need to click on this native link sharing button. Okay, once I'll click on it, it will bring up the share kit here. So whomever I want to share this blog with, I just need to select that profile or any of the social media as well. Like for example, all the social medias are here, right? So I can just select any of the social media, maybe the message like this, and you see my blog URL is here, and I can just share it with anyone I want. Okay, so that's what the main purpose of the native link sharing button. Now, in our situation, if we go to explore screen here and search for anything, right, then I think we have a blog listing here as well. So let's add native link sharing button on the explore screen as well. Okay, so let's go to explore, navigation bar, right side, and then native link sharing button. Okay, and our color will be 292929, which is a medium branding color, and save it as a draft. Okay, so now let's go to explore again, And you see we have a native link sharing button here as well. So let me search something, app builders. Okay, so you see now we are searching here something. If I go to any of the blog here and then click on this icon, right? I see that I'm able to search now. Sorry, share with my friends now and my any of the social media, or I can copy the URL as well, whatever I want. Okay, that looks perfect then. So we did add the button as well, which is an added functionality here, right? Which obviously we don't see in the mobile in the website to share those things, but in mobile application those things are required. So we did that. Now, in terms of screen customization and adding native buttons and navigation bar setup and everything, we pretty much did everything. So let's move to the next part. Now, our next menu is add-ons. So under the add-ons, we have multiple things here, extensions and integrations, right? So in the extensions, let's set up the custom font first, because right now our font here, this looks little bit different than whatever the medium is using. So let's go to the custom font and select Roboto and save it as a draft, and then go to our app again and reload this. So you see now my font has been changed to Roboto. Okay, perfect. Now custom font, we are providing 1400 plus fonts, so you can select from 1400 plus different fonts. Okay, now the next thing that we have couple other customization and options here. The another one is user agent. So custom user agent is useful, right, when you want to support social media login in your application. Okay, so let me give you one example here. So let's first log out. So okay, so now I'm signed out of my application. Okay, so now for example, let me use the sign in with Google. First of all, it's bringing me out of the application because of our URL policies. So let's look at the URL policies first. If I go to screen share and under the URL policy, it says that all the different domain URLs will open in a mobile browser, right? But in my situation, when user try to log in using Google, right, I don't really want to redirect, bring them outside of an application. So what I will do, I'll create a new policy and I'll write down that if you will find out google.com anywhere as a substring, open it in the current tab. Okay, I want to keep the users logged in the application. Open this URL in the application itself. So now let me click on sign in with Google here. So you see, now I am inside the application, but it says that you can't sign in from this screen because this app doesn't comply with Google's secure browser policies. Okay, so to fix this issue, what we need to do, we can go to the custom user agent here, enable the custom user agent and provide the custom user agent value. For example, like medium underscore app and save it as a draft, right? So now let's go to our application again and reload this and click on sign in with Google. And you see, it started working because I had already logged into my Google account before. So it directly brings me to the application. So let's go back again, open the application, right? And then it's gonna open it again as well. You see, it brings me to the application directly. So that's how user agent can help you to fix your social media sign in issue. So if your application, if your website does have a Google or other social media sign in for functionality, right, then you can use this feature to support it inside the application as well. You don't need to do any extra external integrations for that. Whatever you have on your website, it will work out of the box. Okay, perfect. Other than that, we have a page loader, pull to refresh, which are pretty simple and easy to set up. So let's do that as well. The page loader means when we reload the page here, you see we have this loader here, right? So that's what the page loader, we can customize that as well. And to do that, we can change the color of the loader, which I don't really want to do right now because white is fine. It really matches with the medium theme. For the customization purpose, I can select some different, we have 45 plus different styles available here. So you can select from 45 plus different styles. And you can increase the loader size as well. Maybe you can, let's increase it to 60 pixel, and then let's use this loader for now and save it as a draft. Now let's go here and reload this. So you see, now my loader is being changed here. Okay. Pull to refresh. So pull to refresh means when you pull down your screen, you see there is a refresher here. So when I will release my screen now, it's gonna refresh the screen. So that's what the pull to refresh means, and you can customize of that pull to refresh as well. So let's change it to 292929 and save it as a draft, because that's what my branding color is. Okay, the next one, no internet view. So we all know about it. I'm not going into that detail right now. The app review, which is really important feature here. So app review means usually all the application requires a lot of reviews and good reviews, right? So more reviews you have, the more trust factor you can build for your customers, for your visitors and your users, right? So app review is kind of a really important feature of the application. So to ask the app review inside the application itself, okay, you need to enable this feature, enable this, and then you need to provide the app review schedule. Now, app review schedule means when user will open, after how many times user opens an application, you want to ask for the application review. Okay, so that's what this means basically. So for example, in my situation, Medium is a frequently used application, right? Because user is gonna be using Medium maybe every day. So I don't want to ask the review too frequently. So what I'll do, like maybe after 5 days of their use case, maybe if they open it every day, then within 5 days they will open it 5 times, right? So 5 application open counts, and then maybe 10, and then maybe 20. So if they will not give a review to my application on the fifth app open count, okay, so once user will open the application for the fifth time, we will ask the Twinr will automatically ask for the review inside the application. Okay, if user will not provide the review, then next time it will ask it again on the 10th time they open an application, next time after the 20th time. So if user will provide a review on the 10th time, then it's not going to ask it for the 20th time. Okay, so that will be automatically handled there. So you can decide your schedule here, like after that 50 times or 100 times like this, and save it as a draft, right? So that's what your app review schedule means. Okay, now one other important feature I want to highlight here and I want to discuss about is Google AdMob. Because usually in the blogging website, because it's a free platform, Medium is a paid platform, but like I'm talking about some other general blogging platforms which might be a free platforms, right? Where user can read about the blogs and everything. So maybe you want to use or you want to integrate Google AdMob inside your application to monetize your app. Okay, so for that, let's look at the Google AdMob feature here and let's enable this. Okay, so Google AdMob, enable AdMob, and the first thing here is we need to provide the Android app ID and the iOS application ID. Okay, so let's see how we can create Android application ID and iOS application ID. Okay, so to do that, what I will need to do, I'll need to go create my apps.admob.com account, Google AdMob account, right? And you just need to write apps. Let me, yeah. So once you land here, you need to sign up with your Gmail account, sign in with the account, and then that's it. It will bring you to your Google AdMob account here. Okay. So once you have your account set up and ready, right? You need to click on the apps menu here and then click on add app button. Once you will click on add app button, there are two options here. If you want to create an Android application or iOS application. So create Android. Select the appropriate option here. If the application is currently live, then select yes. If no, then select no. So for now, I'm selecting no. Continue, right? And all the other things. So now I need to provide the application name, which is Medium. User matrix, I'm gonna keep it whatever the default is, and add application. Okay. Now once I will create an application, I can see my application is created here. Okay. So now I need to get the application ID. So click on this icon here again, and you see, and view all apps. Click on this button. So here in the app ID field, I just need to copy this ID Now this is an Android application I have created. Okay, so I will add this ID inside the Android app ID. Similarly, let me add another app for iOS here. No, continue. Medium iOS, that's medium again. Add app, done. And again I go to my all apps and then medium iOS application and copy this ID. Okay, so I have now my both Android application ID and iOS application ID. Now next part is creating an ad. So whatever ad you want to create here, so we do support banner, interstitial and app open ad. If you want to know more about it, let's go to our documentation here and let's go to, sorry, let's go to this one. Yeah, so you see like we support banner, interstitial and app open ad, right? Now, if we need more information that how banner ads, interstitial ads and app open ad works, then basically you can just visit this Google AdMob documentation and you will find it out. Okay, so today let's create one normal advertisement, which is a banner ad, and we will go through all the other ads as well, interstitial ad. So let's go to Google AdMob here, and inside the Android application, create one ad. Click on this button, add ad unit, and select the banner ad and add unit name, maybe medium Android banner. Okay, so now you see we have this application ID here and we have this another one ID here which we don't really need right now, so just click on the done button. But when we come here, okay, we have see this add unit ID, so we need this add unit ID. Okay, so copy this add unit ID, click on the create ad and the banner ad here. So whatever banner ad you have created here, you need to provide this information on the Twinr. So for the Android ad unit ID, which is this one, right? Now for if I want to do similar thing for iOS, then what I will need to do? The same thing. Again, I go to medium iOS application, add unit, banner app, medium banner iOS, and then done button and just copy this ID and paste it here. So if you want to do it for both the application, then this is the process that you need to create advertisement in Android app and then provide this ID here. Similarly, do it for iOS and provide the ID here. Now select your banner position that you want it on the top side or at the bottom side. Okay, at the top of the screen or the bottom of the screen. So usually I saw that usually we display it at the bottom of the screen. And then the banner size as well. So there are different size of banners, full banner, large banner, leaderboard. So everything is available in the documentation, all the information. So for now, I'm gonna go with the default option, which is banner. And the screens. So here we are providing a flexibility that in how many screens you want to display your advertisement, your banner ads, right? So you see, you can decide that, I mean, based on your application, maybe you decide that I want to display it in the home screen and all the screen, but not the setting screen, maybe. It's totally up to you, right? So you select it as well. Home screen, I want to do that. Explore, I want to do that. And then submit it. And that's it. You have successfully created the banner ad here. And it will give you all the information here that what's the position of this, the advertisement, what's the size of this advertisement, at how many, in which screens basically you are displaying this advertisement. It will give you all the information here and then save it as a draft. Okay, now let's create an interstitial ad which will ask us for the similar information, Android ad unit ID and iOS ad unit ID. Okay, so that's all good. Let's go here again. And we are currently in medium iOS application, so add another advertisement and interstitial ad and medium interstitial iOS, and then just copy the ID again, which is this one, and let's paste it here. And let's go to Android again. So let's skip the Android for now to save some time here. Okay, again, you same thing. You can decide the list of screens here that in which screens I want to display this interstitial ad. So if you don't know, then interstitial is a full screen advertisement, right? Okay, so let me use it in the explore as well, not on the home screen maybe. Okay, now interstitial ads are always event based advertisements, right? So you need to decide that on which event you want to display an interstitial ad, maybe on the button click, maybe on the screen change, right, on the page change, however you want to display it. You just need to decide that. Okay, so what you need to do, you need to create an event here for the interstitial head. So event can be of a two different type. Either it can be a page URL, or either it can be an element selector like a button click or the link click or something like that. Basically, when user click on any particular element that you will provide here, right, when user will click on it, it will open an interstitial head. Okay, so let's create one page URL event here and provide the page URL that when user try to visit. So page URL means, for example, currently if I'm in the search screen, okay, sorry, for example, if I'm on the home screen right now, and then if I click on the notification button, then I will be going to the notification URL, right? So what I want to do, when user try to go to the notification URL, so before they go there, open an interstitial ad. Okay, so that's what the page URL event means. Now let's create another event, which will be element selector. So what I want to do here, that when user click on, so in my website here, in my application here, let's go to application and we see that when user maybe click on the new list button, for example, this one, right? So let's find out, let's go to the list here and the new list button. So this button we have here, right? So we just need to find out the unique identifier of this button. Okay, and let's just use anything like FH, for example. Okay, so if, and we just need to provide the selector here. Now because this is a class name, we're gonna use dot and the class name. So what we are specifying here, that when user click on this particular element, so when I will click on this new list, okay, before opening the new list, it will display an interstitial ad. Okay, so you have a full flexibility here for the different event types. Either you can use an element selector, or you can use a page URL here and then submit it. Okay, all good. So we have created different application advertisement here. Now, how does this advertisement will look like? So let's go to documentation. So you see, that's how the banner advertisement, different banner advertisement will look like. And the third advertisement type is application open advertisement. So when user will try to open an application, it will display an advertisement like this. So you see here that before, when user will click on the application icon, basically, right, it will display an ad like this, and then it will display this tab here, that continue to app, right, and when user click on it, it will open an application and then the advertisement will be closed. So that's what the app open means. App open advertisement means. Okay, so we have created app open, banner, interstitial advertisements here, right? Everything looks good. Okay, so but another thing is that you will not be able to preview advertisements inside the preview application. So what you need to do for that? So if you want to preview it, set up everything here, right? And then go to app build, request new Android and iOS builds, and then inside your new builds, you will be able to see those advertisements properly. Okay, so we did set up Google Ads as well with end-to-end three different advertisements, right? So that is done. And now in your application, if you want, you can enable push notification as well. So I'm not going into these details for now, but from Twinr 2.0, now we are supporting personalized push notifications and abandoned cart push notification as well. So abandoned cart is not really useful for the blogging, but personalized might be, right, based on your use cases, that you have those kind of features where you need to send personalized push notification to your users, so you can utilize this feature as well. And we have an extensive end-to-end documentation available here to set up personalized push notification and abandoned cart notification as well. Okay, So now, once we set up everything, the next part is to set up Android and iOS builds and request a new build and submit it to App Store and Play Store account. That's pretty much it. So yeah, I think I have covered everything for the Medium application. What we did here, we did our branding setup, our app theme setup, the screen customizations and everything, right? Our multiple menus, different buttons, native link sharing button, and font customization here, page loader, pull to refresh, app review, and Google AdMob integrations that we did again. And then after, the next is again application publishing step. So yeah, I have covered everything for one blogging website, that how you can convert one blogging website similar to Medium into mobile application.
So that's it for this webinar, and I'll see you guys in the next one. In the meantime, if you guys have any other questions or concerns, you can always reach out to us via our live chat, or you can send us an email on hello@twinr.dev. You can also refer to our help documentation at help.twinr.dev for the detailed information. So thank you again, and thanks for joining us in this webinar.